In the heart of Chandpur, a village cradled by the rolling hills of northern India, stood an ancient banyan tree. Its sprawling branches stretched like the arms of a benevolent giant, casting dappled shadows over the dusty paths where children played and elders gossiped. The villagers called it Bargad Baba, the grandfather banyan, and believed it housed a spirit that granted wishes to those pure of heart. For generations, they had tied red threads to its roots, whispered their dreams into its crevices, and left offerings of marigolds and jaggery at its base. Mira, a 12-year-old with eyes like polished obsidian and a braid that swung like a pendulum, was no stranger to the tree's magic. Every night, as the village settled into silence, she dreamt of a figure cloaked in green, its voice like the rustle of leaves. "Ask, child," it would say, "and I shall weave your heart's desire into the roots of the world." Mira never asked for much, perhaps a new slate for school or rain for her father's parched fields, but the spirit's presence felt like a secret only she carried. Chandpur was a place where time moved slowly, where buffalo carts creaked alongside the occasional motorcycle, and where the monsoon's arrival was celebrated with more fervor than any festival. But change was coming. A man from the city, Mr. Sharma, had arrived with blueprints and promises of progress. He spoke of a factory that would bring jobs, electricity, and modernity to the village. The catch? The factory required land, specifically the land where Bargad Baba stood. The news spread like wildfire. At the village panchayat, held under the banyan's canopy, voices clashed. "This is our heritage," cried old man Kishan, his white beard trembling. "Bargad Baba has watched over us for centuries." Others, like Mira's uncle Ramesh, saw opportunity. "Jobs mean food on the table," he argued. "The tree is just a tree." Mira, sitting cross-legged at the edge of the gathering, felt her stomach twist. She glanced at the banyan's gnarled roots, half expecting the spirit to emerge and silence the debate. That night, Mira's dream was different. The green-cloaked figure stood taller, its voice urgent. "The tree is in danger, Mira. You are its keeper now. Find the truth buried in its roots, or all will be lost." She woke with a start, her heart pounding. Keeper? Truth? The words clung to her like morning dew. Mr. Sharma was a man of sharp suits and sharper words. He arrived the next morning in a gleaming white car, trailed by 2 assistants carrying clipboards. The villagers gathered, curious and wary, as he stood before Bargad Baba and declared, "This tree is an obstacle to progress. The factory will bring wealth to Chandpur. You'll thank me when your children have schools and your homes have lights." Mira watched from behind a cart, her fingers tracing the red thread tied around her wrist, a gift from her grandmother who had taught her the stories of Bargad Baba. "The spirit protects us," her grandmother had said, "but only if we protect it." Mira felt a fire kindle in her chest. She slipped through the crowd and approached Mr. Sharma. "What about the spirit?" she asked, her voice small but steady. "Bargad Baba grants wishes. You can't cut it down." The crowd murmured. Mr. Sharma's smile was thin, like a blade. "Superstitions won't feed you, little girl. Progress will." Some villagers nodded, swayed by his promises, but others, like Kishan and Mira's mother Lakshmi, looked uneasy. That evening, Mira sat with her best friend Arjun, a lanky boy with a knack for fixing bicycles. "They're wrong," she told him, her voice fierce. "The tree isn't just a tree. I've seen the spirit in my dreams. It chose me." Arjun, ever practical, scratched his head. "Dreams are dreams, Mira, but if you believe it, I'll help you. What's the plan?" Mira didn't have a plan, not yet, but she knew she had to act. She began talking to the villagers, reminding them of the banyan's miracles, the rains that came after years of drought, the childless couple blessed with twins, the lost buffalo found unharmed. Some listened, their eyes softening with memory, but others, like her uncle Ramesh, dismissed her. "You are a child," he said. "Stay out of grown-up matters." Desperate for answers, Mira turned to her grandmother's trunk, a dusty relic filled with old saris and trinkets. Her grandmother had been the village's storyteller, the keeper of Bargad Baba's lore. Buried under a faded shawl, Mira found a leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed, but intact. The first entry read, "The banyan is more than a tree. It is a pact sealed by our ancestors. Its roots hold our history and a curse." Mira's breath caught. A curse? She read on, piecing together fragments of a story. Centuries ago, the village had been plagued by famine. A wandering sadhu had planted the banyan, binding a spirit to its roots to protect Chandpur. In exchange, the villagers promised to honor the tree and never harm it. But there was a warning. If the tree was destroyed, the spirit's wrath would unleash a curse upon the village tied to the bloodline of the first keeper, Mira's family. The journal hinted at a ritual to renew the pact, but the details were vague, written in riddles. "The truth lies where the roots meet the earth," one line read. Mira clutched in the journal, her mind racing. Was she the keeper now, as the spirit had said? And what was the curse? She shared the journal with Arjun, who stinted at the faded script. "This is big, Mira. If there's a curse, we need proof to convince the village. Let's check the roots." That night, under the cover of darkness, they crept to Bargad Baba. The tree loomed like a sentinel, its aerial roots swaying in the breeze. Mira dug at the base, her fingers brushing something hard. A stone tablet, etched with symbols she couldn't read. The tablet became Mira's secret weapon. She showed it to Kishan, who recognized the symbols as an ancient script used by sadhus. He declared, "This proves the tree's sacred." But Mr. Sharma was unmoved. "Old rocks won't stop progress," he said, revealing a government permit to clear the land. The village split, half swayed by promises of jobs, half clinging to tradition. Mira's family was no different. Her uncle Ramesh sided with Mr. Sharma, dreaming of a better life for his sons. Her mother Lakshmi was torn, caught between faith and practicality. "We need the money, Mira," she said softly. "Your father's fields are failing." Mira felt betrayed, but refused to give up. She and Arjun began a campaign. They tied more red threads to the banyan, organized a puja, and told stories of its miracles to anyone who would listen. Children joined them, painting signs that read, "Save Bargad Baba." But Mr. Sharma's influence grew. He hosted feasts, promising jobs to those who supported him. Bulldozers arrived, their engines growling like beasts. In her dreams, the spirit's voice grew frantic. "The curse stirs, Mira. Find the keeper's mark." Mira awoke, determined to decode the journal's riddles. She and Arjun returned to the tree, searching for the keeper's mark. After hours of digging, they found a carved wooden box buried deep. Inside was a locket shaped like a banyan leaf, inscribed with Mira's family name. The locket was a clue, but it raised more questions. Mira confronted her mother, who paled at the sight of it. "That belonged to your great-grandmother," Lakshmi said. "She was the last keeper. She warned us never to let the tree fall." Pressed further, Lakshmi revealed the curse. If the banyan was destroyed, the keeper's bloodline would bear the spirit's wrath, sickness, misfortune, or worse. Mira's resolve hardened. She rallied the children and elders, staging a sit-in around the banyan. The bulldozers loomed closer, but the protesters refused to move. Mr. Sharma, frustrated, offered bribes, then threats. "You're fighting a losing battle," he sneered. Arjun, ever resourceful, suggested they take the fight beyond the village. He fixed an old radio and Mira recorded a message about the banyan, broadcasting it to nearby towns. Soon, journalists and environmentalists arrived, drawn by the story of a girl defending a sacred tree. The pressure mounted on Mr. Sharma, but he remained defiant. Mira returned to the journal, desperate for the ritual to renew the pact. The riddles pointed to a full moon, a circle of offerings, and the keeper's blood. With the next full moon approaching, Mira prepared. She gathered marigolds, jaggery, and a small knife. The village watched, some with hope, others with skepticism. On the night of the full moon, Mira stood before Bargad Baba, the locket around her neck. The villagers formed a circle, their faces lit with lanterns. Mira pricked her finger, letting a drop of blood fall onto the roots. She chanted the words from the journal, her voice trembling but clear. Spirit of the banyan, we honor the pact. Protect us as we protect you. The air grew heavy. A wind stirred, rustling the leaves. The spirit appeared, not in a dream, but before the crowd, a shimmering figure of light and shadow.